All right, so today's lesson is absolute value inequalities. So we've already done inequality problems. You can close your computers. You don't actually need it for this portion of the class. We've grabbed x is greater than 3. How do we do that? Pretty simple. What number goes in the middle? 3. What numbers go here?
4, 5, 1, 5.
What numbers go here?
-2 or 2.
2 and 1. You have at least 2 numbers on either side. Then, if it is equal to, you fill in the circle if it's not equal to. So this is just x is greater than 3. You leave it open. And you draw the arrow in the same direction as the symbol. So the greater than symbol points to the right. The less than symbol, the small side on the left, points to the left. All right? Or you can think about it, right? X is greater than 3 means that it's bigger, so you should have bigger numbers. Okay, then we made things more difficult. Well, today I am making it even more difficult than that. So we are graphing the absolute value of x is greater than 2. Here is the trick. I'm sure you are taking notes. What happens when you plug a number into the absolute value function?
I don't know.
Let's practice. AJ, if I give you 2 and you give me the absolute value of it, it is
2.
-4. Kara? Sierra, -5.
5. Oh, that makes sense.
She's too quick. Daniel, 0. 1. -324.5. 324.5. -1.
5.
-1/2. Correct. So all of the positive numbers stay positive, and all of the negative numbers are multiplied by negative. Right? So if you plug in -2, it multiplies that by a negative and gives you +2. That's what the absolute value does. So, how do I do absolute value of x is greater than 2? Well, you split it into 2 different parts. One part is if we're talking about positive x values, and that means that x is greater than 2. You just completely get rid of the absolute value. Make sure you write that in your notes.
It popped off. I was like,
Now, what do we do with the negative options? If I plug in a negative number to x, then it will make it what? Positive. How will it make it positive? It will multiply x by a negative. So that becomes -x is greater than 2. So now for both of these, I'm going to solve for x. So on this one, x is less than -2. By multiplying both sides by a negative, you switch the sign. Here, I already know x is greater than 2. Can I graph this? Sure. So we have our number line. If x is less than -2, I want all numbers that are, well, less than -2. So, open circle at -2, arrow to the left. How do I graph x is greater than 2? Open circle at 2, and arrow to the right. You have been practicing these for a long time, so we are not surprised. Everything from here down, you've already been doing. Now we're adding the extra step of eliminating the absolute value. No questions. Just kidding. Questions are always welcome. I do reserve the right not to answer them, though. Go ahead.
So, what if there's a negative sign outside the absolute value?
Yep.
You distribute that and make it.
You would distribute it. Yep.
What would
So your first step is you always, I don't think they're going to give you, oh, they will. We'll get there. Cool. Let's try another one. So we have absolute value of x. So this is like, you know when you wake up in the morning? I don't know if you have this. AJ has this. I know it.
What?
You wake up in the morning and you've been like tossing and turning, and you sleep on one side of the bed and you sleep on the other side of the bed, and your hair kind of does this thing where it's like, right? Where it sticks out on both sides. It looks like you flattened it and then stuck it up on both sides.
Mine just is flat.
It does?
Sometimes.
Does it feel flat though?
Yes.
Especially like when you
Sometimes if I just like have the pomade in my hair from yesterday, I forget to wash it out. If I sleep like that, my hair will come out like straight
Just
up.
straight flat. Yeah.
Straight flat, yeah.
So this is where the absolute value is greater than a number. You get like the goofy hair thing going. It could be any of these numbers way out there, or it could be any of these numbers way out here. But much like AJ's hair, well polished, put together,
If I sleep with my pomade on.
controlled. If the absolute value is less than a number, or in this case, absolute value of x is less than or equal to 3, then they're going to point in to each other. So the positive one, if x is positive, it's just x is less than 3. The negative one, we have to plug in negative x is less than or equal to 3 and solve this. What does that become, Kara?
X is greater than equal to 3.
Negative 3. So you multiply by negative on both sides, and that switches the sign. Over here, taking notes, very important.
Oh, sorry.
Over here, we have x is less than or equal to 3. So if I graph this, here's negative 3. Okay, so x is greater than or equal to negative 3 would be a filled in circle and an arrow pointing to the right. X is less than or equal to 3, filled in circle, arrow pointing to the left. And so you see that they meet, much like the well-polished hairstyle, where it's all in the middle instead of going everywhere. Now, let's answer Daniel's question, which is, what if they get more complicated? Great question at that. What if we have negative, the absolute value of x minus 2 is greater than negative 5, or equal to? This is the last example here. Just greater than. So, what we're going to do is we are going to, as our very first step, deal with the absolute value. Much like we deal with students who act up by giving them summer school. No, that's not true actually. Saturday school, that could be it. Sunday school, no. Sunday school good, Saturday school bad. Monday school, everyone's got that, so neither good nor bad. Yeah. Huh? What does that mean? Do you want Saturday school?
No, Sunday school. I mean, Sunday school.
You haven't been to Sunday school? Some churches do Sunday school for adults.
Yeah, my church doesn't.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Oh,
So like there's small groups for adults.
Sunday school.
Yeah, it's like small groups. Okay, so we're going to address the negative x. So watch, this is all that happens. You have negative, parentheses, negative x, where the absolute value is. Minus 2 is greater than negative 5. And then over here, for the positive one,
What?
you leave it. Negative x plus or minus 2 is greater than negative 5.
So for the positive one, whatever it was originally, you just write it the same. You don't
Yep.
change the signs.
You remove the absolute value and that's it.
Oh.
For the negative one, you plug in negative x. Now, will you please excuse our dear algebra students. Sometimes they need to be excused. I don't know why. Sometimes they pull a booger out of their nose. and they don't know what to do with it. They don't want to stick it on the table for the next guy.
Sorry, my soul
So
was
they ask to
screaming.
be excused. Sometimes it happens to all of us. They fart,
You know.
and then they must be excused.
Smell.
I get it. I understand. Sometimes
Videos of people.
Sometimes they do not do their math homework and must be
It's
excused.
so gross.
That is gross.
People
Much like excuses, we all have boogers. It's taking them out at the right point that really matters. So, back to our problem. Parentheses first. We can't do anything inside the parentheses. Exponents we have done. Now we multiply and divide. So, minus times a minus is a plus. So now I have x minus 2 is greater than or equal to negative 5. Now I will add and subtract. And so x is greater than 3, negative 3. And if I work on the other one, I have negative x minus 2 is greater than negative 5. So I will add the 2. So negative x is greater than negative 3. And now I must multiply both sides by a negative, which will flip the sign. So x is less than 3. So this one will be as follows. Open circle from negative 3 to 3. And that is problem set 102.